Hey, hey Joey, what's up? Thanks for the host. Fito, come. No? Okay. Um, do you have any chairs left? And do you like extra cute? Do I? Come. And do you have do you have any walls left, or did you break all of them? Oh, Fito, a few. Okay. Haha. Will you help me? It's looking pretty rough over here. I'm glad you started. Cool. Okay, so I was going to do tactics 3 hours ago, but I had a little brain problem, and I think I'm okay now. So, are you ready, Fito? You ready for this? Are you? Okay. So let's warm up with Puzzle Rush. Doobie-doobie-doo. Doobie-doobie-doo. Checkmate! When do the Olympiad Games begin? I don't know. I was surprised today when I saw Legion's message saying I was born number 4. Sure, I will stream it if I'm still not sure. Maybe if more people join, I'm finally not on the team. So I want to be. Can I stream it while I watch you? Yeah, sure. It's nice to cover games from other people. It's easier than playing. With Spain's color painted on my face, I would love to see that. You're rooting for Spain? The US has a pretty good team. What do I do here? Take the knight, maybe. Oh, thankfully I'm in check. So, oh, but my queen is hanging. What? Oh, but I can promote. And now Australia has Jan Lee. Yeah. If you see Spanish team right now, it's 3 strong people and then me and then some other people about my level. So, hey Sakuho, what's? Oh, it's white to move. White to move. Pepe, can you teach us how to make urban bombs? I don't think I can. It's going to be so exciting to watch. Yeah, I'm nervous. You know how I get when I play for a team. But I'm also excited. It would be nice if I finally get to play it. Black to move. I want to promote. What's yeah. And that king is there. Don't get like that, or I'll freak out and have to fight someone, or else yes. No, I don't want to. So if I finally get in the team, I would love to train before the Olympiad. Maybe I can get some help from Legion or from other strong players. Don't know what to do here. What's the winning tactic? Oh, the rook is defended by the knight also, not just the queen. I'm so stupid. I'm so blind. I'm so blind. That queen is suspicious. So check, check. No. Check, check. And then what? Check, check. And after king h6? Okay, let's throw the check. Oh, why did he give up the knight? That was weird. Dun 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 dun. I don't know. I guess this. A random move because I'm running out of time. Let's sack the queen. That was the solution, but we don't have time. Fuels are easy to get, but I don't know what to do for oxidizers. Lord Sakuho, you're joking, right? Yasser is on the team too. Oh, nice! Oh, you know what? What? If I'm on the team, I would be like the worst member of the team, so I would get to play. Because I've seen in other teams, board number 4 is much stronger than I, so it would be nice to play against Yasser again. I think I've played against him already once or twice. He's not placed, but he's on the Lichess team, so he's Penguin. Okay. Okay, let's move on to tactics. Yeah, Penguin is playing the Crazy House World Championship right now. I think he has a lot of matches left still to play. He played against Jan Lee and he lost, of course. Okay, let's start. I think I played once against Andrew Tang, but I'm not 100% sure. I played against too many people. Yeah, I watched them play 30 games together. Yeah, 30 games. That's every match they played 30 games. And then Yan Li played against all the fields, or maybe he still has one match left against Rapid Variants. Okay, so we get a puzzle finally. I have a brain to try and solve it, but I warn you, my head is a bit slow today. So the obvious move, what is the problem with it? What's the material count? We're a piece down, and for some reason White wants us to take that rook. I don't believe there's any other candidate move because, for example, the check, he gets to save the rook probably, because then if rook takes knight, rook takes rook, and if we take here, which would be the other candidate move, Well, it's a move. So I think I will start calculating the obvious, and then if there's some problems related to having this bishop here, then maybe bishop takes e3. But what is wrong with taking the rook? Maybe knight takes c5. Yeah, maybe that's a problem. So yeah, we're losing this bishop, I think, if we take the rook. With a piece down in the starting position, I assume white took a piece on g4, probably a bishop, and the idea is to take two pieces for the rook. But if we take here first, we regain our piece, and white, if white takes that, we take the rook for free, so I expect white to save the rook instead, and then material will be equal. How good is that? How good is that? Okay, let's see this line again. Let's see if we have something against both bishop g5 and knight g5. So against knight g5, maybe the knight is not protecting the back rank, but I don't see how to exploit it. Hey Whiskey, what's up? I'm feeling much better now. I had a strong headache before. Not sure if it was going to be a migraine, but I reacted fast. And I'm feeling good now. I feel I have a fresh mind, but slow at the same time. I'm cool. So when I have migraines, one of my favorite feelings in life is after a migraine. After a migraine, I'm like very happy, very chill. I told you check end myopia and get weaker glasses for close-up. Hey Mike, migraine. Yeah, after migraine I'm so relaxed, so calm. Water is good to drink, I know. Okay, so if we take the rook, white is gonna take the bishop. Let's see where we have something against bishop takes bishop. I guess we have rook takes f3. Rook takes f3, no matter what he takes with, we take on g5 next. But those are trades, and then it's an equal position again, isn't it? Queen takes g4. No, against bishop takes g5 we have rook h1. Rook h1 and we take the rook on a1 because he has no good way to block. So bishop takes bishop is out of the question. Knight takes g5 instead. So queen takes g4, knight takes g5, and What can we do there? If both knight and bishop leave their squares, we might have knight e4. After knight takes g5, if we don't move the queen, we have to do a check because our queen is hanging with check. So maybe queen g1 check, and okay, king d2 would be of course a mistake, so queen f1 is forced. So queen takes rook, knight takes bishop on g5, queen g1 check, queen f1 forced. How is that? I don't see a follow-up. I don't see a good follow-up there. Okay, I don't see a good follow-up, so let's leave that line there and let's consider what happens if we trade first. So if we trade first, white is forced to move the rook. Yeah, white is forced to save the rook to keep the material, and there are several options: rook g3, rook g1, even rook h4 maybe, rook g6. So yeah, I don't like to calculate this, but maybe just bishop d4 is strong. Or knight d4. Ah, knight d4 as a follow-up. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. Okay, so bishop takes. Let's say rook g1 or rook h4. Let's say rook g1, knight d4. He probably has to take. We take. He has to save the other rook. And yeah, we didn't win anything, and we're trading pieces. We need a better follow-up. Bishop takes rook g1. That's why I wanted to take the rook in the first place, because bishop takes e3, yes, it saves the bishop, our bishop, but it's just, it looks like a safe line for white trading a lot of material to an equal position. What am I missing? You saying bishop 3 times just saved me from bishop lines. Oh, I need to do that emote. I started the other day. I have some work in progress there for the emote. Take knight, then win rook maybe. I was thinking about that in the back of my mind, to do rook f3 in the first move, but I don't know what do we win. He can take with bishop probably. I could start with knight d4 as well, but he takes with knight. I could start with the check, and then I said rook g1, but let's consider that for a second. Maybe we missed something in this line: rook h1, rook g1. Because rook e1 is only move, I think. Yeah, it's only move because if king d2, we trade on e3 with check and then we take the rook. So rook g1 is the only move. Bishop, bishop, bishop. Okay, so if we trade, okay, Mika, see you. If we trade on G1, the knight is gonna be on G1, and then knight D4. We still have the rook on the F file. Hey Prash, probably have checked the solution by now. We usually spend more than 30 minutes per position. Hello, how's your weekend going? It doesn't really look like a hard puzzle to solve. Just need to spend maybe 10 more minutes. So rook check forces rook g1. I like it because it's a forcing line. Then if I trade, it's still forcing. Knight takes g1. And then knight d4. Knight d4 is always there. I could even start with it. I think it forces bishop takes. It would be nice to have a back rank idea after knight d4 bishop takes. But if I don't distract the knight or take it first, then I don't have f3. Knight d4 can be answered with knight takes. So one idea, let's see if we can work this out. I want to keep this rook alive, so I don't want to trade it, because I want to have a back rank check idea. But I want to do this and not allow knight takes. So what about rook takes, bishop takes, which is not forced because queen takes is possible as well. Knight d4, bishop takes, queen takes g4, bishop takes g4 with check. Okay, let's stop going nuts. What about taking here first, and after the only move knight takes g5, we go nuts again. Queen g1, queen f1, we've been there. My brain is too relaxed for this. Okay. Coffee in here. Queen takes g4, knight takes g5. Hey, okay, what is up? Welcome. We've been already several minutes on this position, okay. Let's sum up the ideas for you. Queen takes rook, knight takes g5 is a problem, sort of. And then after queen g1 check, queen f1, I don't see a follow-up. And white took 2 pieces for the rook, so that's not good news, because we start a piece down in this position. But if we trade first on e3, which is an idea, then he saves the rook, rook g1, and material is equal, so I'm not sure how strong is knight e4 there, not sure. And then another line we were considering was to start with rook h1 check first, that forces rook g1. And then again, I didn't see anything strong, like queen g4, rook takes h1. He has, if we trade first, and we go knight d4, he takes it, and I would love to have a back rank threat, but I don't see it. So more or less that's the problem in this position. I ranted at a boss the other day. That can also be good for migraines. Ranting at a boss. There's forks everywhere if you take the knight with the rook. Ah, yeah, we also mentioned this move, but I don't believe it, so it's probably the solution. I don't believe it. I guess he can take with the bishop, probably safest. Also with the queen. Also, we're not threatening anything, so he might just take the bishop on g5 and keep. No, that's the only move he cannot do. Yeah, he needs to prevent rook h1, so he has to take. Yeah. He has to prevent rook h1. Okay, if I sack the exchange there, I don't have a follow-up. I don't have a follow-up there. I think it cannot be the solution. It cannot be. We're a piece down to begin with. Exactly, okay. That's why queen takes rook, knight takes g5. I need a good follow-up there because white took 2 pieces for the rook. There are some lines where this rook hangs on a1, so that's probably a very important idea in this position. So against queen takes g4, bishop takes does not work, for example, because of that, because of rook h1 check. So queen takes g4, if we find something against knight takes g5, that has to be the solution. The other line I like is rook h1 because it's very forcing. Also rook g1 is only move. But I don't know. I don't know. Rook takes f3 at that point. That's also very forcing. Rook takes f3, rook takes h1. And then what? Knight e4, bishop takes. Yeah. I don't know. The move I like the most is queen takes, but I still don't see a follow-up after knight takes g5. So maybe we need to start. Starting with knight e4, for example, distracts one of the pieces, one of these 2 pieces. But for example, if he takes with the knight, the rook is defended now, h1 is defended now, so I think I'm helping white. I would bet on one of these 3 moves. Queen takes rook, bishop takes bishop, or rook h1. And the one I would probably play in a game is bishop takes e3. The problem is it's the hardest to calculate because white has at least 1, 2, 3, 4 interesting options with the rook, to move the rook. And maybe even knight g1 is an option, or knight d2. Queen takes rook, next puzzle. Hey John, welcome. There's a crazy idea. After queen takes, knight takes g5, I don't see it. Your stream looks much brighter today. Brighter how? John? Like the camera or what? Like in more sun. Well, it's sunning here. Maybe you're sober, John John. I don't follow your idea. Okay, queen takes rook. Yes, I see that. But then you say rook takes bishop. So I guess you say bishop takes bishop. Let's say bishop takes. But bishop takes bishop is a bad move. He has to take with the knight. Maybe you need some fizzy water. Yeah. So let's say knight takes bishop. And then you say rook takes c3, which I don't understand. Okay. Okay, I think the line I didn't work a lot was this bishop takes e3, so let's work this line. This line has interesting ideas. I think white is forced to move the rook or defend it, probably move it, because otherwise we're up on material. And hey, first blank. Pawn takes then. Now if pawn takes, we take the rook. If pawn takes, we take the rook, and we're up on material. So bishop takes e3 forces the rook to move probably and be saved. So for example, rook g1, rook g2, rook g3, rook g6, rook h4, or even knight g1 or knight d2 might be. But then we have ideas like knight e4, which are interesting. The problem is position is equal material. We just regained our piece. So if the rook moves, I would love to have a great follow-up. Maybe just knight e4. Maybe just knight e4. I think he's forced to take with the knight because, for example, queen b2, maybe we go rook takes f3, I don't know. Yeah, he probably needs to take with the knight. Then we might take with the bishop, winning a tempo against the rook. And then we might have takes on f2, which is really strong. So after bishop takes e3, maybe he needs to defend f2, but then we go knight e4 again, takes, and then we have rook h1. Our bishop's still hanging though. But maybe we go bishop takes d4, rook moves, let's say to safety, rook d1, and then we go queen h3. Hitting rook, and f2. How does he defend f2? What would Fito do? I can tell you what Fito is doing right now. Fito, 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 Fito. He's like, leave me alone. Okay, Fito not gonna help. Fito is not going to help. Fito would play queen g4 for sure. I don't know. So, I'm liking this bishop takes e3 idea. Oi, 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 oi. Rook g2. So first blank gives a line with rook g2. Sometimes I wonder if Pepe is just carrying around a dead dog. Oh, come on. So bishop takes e3, rook g2, rook h1 check is interesting. Yes, very interesting. That forces something to g1. Good suggestion there. And you say knight g1, knight d4. Yeah, knight d4 is killing there. Queen b2. And then maybe just bishop takes f2. Yeah, bishop takes f2, I think it works there. So yeah, I like the idea of rook h1 after bishop takes e3. Bishop takes e3, rook g2, rook h1, I like it. So actually rook h1 is a strong threat. Very strong threat after bishop takes e3 if he moves the rook. So maybe rook g1 is forced, but then f2 is... I'm liking that line. I'm liking that line, bishop e3. Bishop e3 is not a forced line, but our threats are very strong. If he doesn't save the rook, we're gonna be up on material. So besides rook g1, he might try knight e2, let's say. Robin Bain just flagged me in the dirtiest way. Ah, fork you, Robin Bain. Hey Kilotas, what's up? Throws another chair against the wall. No, don't get mad. Don't get mad at him. Get mad only at me, please. Basically, bishop takes e3 is the first move. Yeah, I like bishop takes e3. I like bishop takes e3. And I don't see a follow-up against knight takes g5 if we take the rook first. So I think I'm gonna move bishop takes bishop. I know you don't like it. I don't like it either, but at least it means you care. Unless you mention cute girls playing style. Oh, the playing style. I vote for bishop takes bishop. I think I'm gonna do bishop takes bishop. Yeah, I mentioned the playing style now that you say that, I think. I said I liked how she played. Yeah, okay. Gotcha. But I love your playing style. For what it's worth. Stop. Rar. Yes! We take the free rook. Is there any other trick here? Wow! The rating of the puzzle is 28.98. Easy peasy, yes. Target time 20 seconds. Well, let's show the lines in the analysis board for a second. Let's see if we understood this position a bit. Lag for me now, crashed even. Oh, do you all have the same problems? So, okay, we start a piece down here. Probably because the rook took a bishop here. So if we take the queen and he takes the bishop, this is not good, materially wise. And he's defending that, and I don't have a good follow-up. I don't want to trade queens. If I go here, he has this move. So we didn't see anything here. Now, the bishop e3. This was interesting because he gave away the rook immediately. If he plays rook g1, for example, I thought knight e4. He can't take this bishop because of the fork, and the queen is attacked. So let's say the queen moves, but the knight is attacked twice. So either queen d1 or he takes here. Queen d1 I didn't even consider it because it looks so bad. Probably just bishop f2. Maybe. Sounds like this. I don't know. Maybe that's not the best line, but it looks risky. Or maybe we just trade everything. And he has to take with bishop, and then we're gonna win this bishop for sure at some point. This doesn't look the best either. Maybe just not trading, maybe just... Or why not this? Why not this and keep all the pressure here? Yeah, this makes more sense. And on the f-file, yeah. Okay, and if knight takes, I thought bishop takes, winning a tempo against the rook moves somewhere, and we take on f2. And the only way to have this defended is if the rook was on g2 instead of g1. But then, so here after bishop takes, rook g2. But then I liked first Planck's idea of rook check first, now that the king cannot escape. So here either knight g1 or rook g1. All of them have problems. Let's say knight g1, knight d4, and if the queen moves, I thought bishop f2 was good because we have this. And yeah, we're winning this rook and probably the queen. And if rook g1, maybe knight d4 first again. And if knight takes, we have rook takes. And we're winning the queen again. Couldn't queen just take bishop instead of queen b2? No, there's always the fork on c2, that's the thing. When we go knight d4, if queen takes, we have knight c2 check. That's why I played queen b2 in the other line as well. And yeah, if he takes, we win the queen. If he moves the queen, we, let's say here, just takes, and we win the queen again. Yep. Yeah, this idea of knight d4 with the bishop still here is very strong because this queen is in terrible shape, and we have that fork to defend the bishop. And because we hit the queen, there's no time for f takes bishop. Bishop take bishop pawn. Bishop take bishop pawn. Queen take rook. Yeah, I guess you're mentioning some line. I said already. Sorry. Sorry, I keep changing lines very fast. But okay, I think we sort of saw more or less the winning idea. So let's move on for the next puzzle. I'm Chinese, we don't use forks. Rar. I have my water here. Okay, white to move. And look at this position. Zhong is Chinese, yeah, I bet. Look at this crazy position. Knight f4 check. So we start, we have some issues, but we're about to promote. And we have an extra knight. So for example, if we take the queen, we're winning. So for example, an option could be knight f4 check, king f5, b7, queen takes b7, knight d6 check, and we take the queen. That would be a winning line. And maybe we start with b7, why not? And after queen takes b7, knight f4 check, king h7, oops! So I guess we need to start with knight f4 check. Knight f4 check, king g5 maybe? So if he goes to f7, I guess we promote. There's no way to stop it. So he has to go to f5 or g5. But we're gonna have some check on h4 as well. If he goes to g5. So if he goes to f5, I think we can just push. And we're gonna promote. And against king g5, just h4 check. And if he goes to g4, we have knight takes f6 winning the queen. And if he goes to f5, we have b7 again. So this looks easy. Zhong, don't you dare banning my love. Bang everyone. Rar, yes, exactly. I don't know. This looks so easy. What am I missing? Knight f4 check. King f5, b7. I'm sure I'm missing a move. No, if king g5, knight e6 check, king f5, knight 6, g7 check, king e5, then b7. What? Okay, I'm sorry, please unban me. Well, anyway, I think the first move has to be this one. Like, if we do a slow move, queen gets out, and we're busted. That was the first line I calculated, I'm proud. So you say, after king g5, knight e6 check. And blocking on g7. But then the queen has the 8th rank. You want to block with this knight. Could be. Could be, unless we allow some queen g8, queen a2 check, queen b2 check, queen takes b8, right? Which is an idea that I didn't even see in my line either, so it's interesting because it's a defensive resource I didn't see. So let's say king f5, and if I go b7, queen g8. It wasn't that easy. Queen g8, the idea is queen a2 and win the queen. Therefore, the problem with king a3 is queen takes knight, of course. And if we go knight d6 check first, black is gonna have queen b8 later, if not attacking our knight as well. So, knight f4 check, king f5, b7, queen g8. Is that winning or not? Knight f4 first move, yeah, probably. But I don't want to rush it until I see the line, because yeah, because maybe the first move is knight d6, who knows? I mean, if these positions are tricky, and sometimes the winning move is a deep idea when the simple line doesn't work. So knight f4 check, king f5. Wait until Fito agrees. Do you agree, Fito? Fito thinks we're doing great. b7, queen g8. Are we already lost after that, or do we have something? I mean, we have knight d6 check, we have knight d5, we have stupid move. We have knight g7 check. We draw. If queen g8, I think we lose. For now, I don't see how we don't lose. Knight g7 check, maybe. Maybe knight g7 check. And if he takes it, it could be a draw. Or maybe we even can win. Dun, dun, dun. Because you check with knight all the time. All the time? I didn't calculate all of that. Let's say knight e6 check. King e5. Knight c4 check. King d4. I don't check all the time. The king has a root. The king has a root there. What is wrong with simply playing b8 then? That we lose the queen, John. Knight f4 check, king f5, b7, queen g8. If we play b8, queen a2 check, queen b2 check, queen takes queen. Play knight f4 first, that is the only possible move I see. Okay, please, this is the last time I say this. Let's be chill. I said I wasn't going to play it until I see the whole line, so please stop trying to rush me, because I get really angry when people keep saying things like that. I believe knight f4 is the move, but if we don't solve it, I will not play it. Simple as that. So knight f4 check, king f5. Maybe the line goes king g5, h4 check, king f5, but I guess the solution would be very similar. The only difference is he will have g4 in the other line. Let's keep that in the back of our minds for a second. Do we have something better than b7 in that moment? We can check first and then play b7, but then, no, that's very stupid, isn't it? It feels stupid. It wasn't that easy as it looked once we discovered queen g8. Ufda, Mike. How's your screen now? Knight for king f5, b7, queen g8, knight d6, king somewhere, knight c4 maybe. Yeah, but king where? King where, John? For example, b7, queen g8, knight d6 check, king e5, knight c4 check, king d4. And even if it's not check, knight c4, he will have queen b8. If we block the attack against a2, we give queen b8 and queen a7 check or queen takes b7 are threats. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. The line I'm calculating is if queen g8, then queen the b7 pawn, then queen a2, queen b4, queen b2 check, king c5, queen takes the promoted pawn b8, then you can check with knight all the time, because the king can't move to d4. Okay, that's an interesting suggestion, to sacrifice the queen, because it's really a forcing line. Black has to do it. The problem is, I think, in the line with king g5, but maybe we have an improvement, as you mentioned, with 96. Okay, in the line with king g5, he will have the g4 square, but yeah, maybe we have an improvement. So, okay, that's a cool idea. So if he's gonna take on b8 and we're gonna have the king on c5, do we have a checkmate as well? Or a way to win his queen? His queen is on b8. We're protecting g6, e6, g4, h4, d5 and e4, and d5. So we're going to have knight g7 check. Knight g7 check, if king e5, we don't have a checkmate, but it's very close. Knight g6 check. King f5, knight h4 check. King e5, knight f3 check, king f5. Ah, no, he escapes. No, I cannot move that knight. Hey, Tentachess, what's up? I don't have the brain power. That's why I said I'd draw to be lazy. No, but that's really interesting. With the knight on f4, knight g7 check. If king e5, I wanted to go d4 checkmate, but d4 is not checkmate because e4. But maybe we can have a way. Ah, the knight on g7. Oh, knight g6 is checkmate there. I'm stupid. So knight g7 check, he has to go to g5. And then h4 check, king g4. No, wait. Then knight e6 check. After king g5, I mean. King g5. Knight g e6 check. King back to f5 only move. Knight d4 check. Aha. Knight d4 check and knight f3 checkmate. Yes. Yes, it's checkmate. I didn't want to push h4 because then he has king g4 and then if h3, king takes g3. But now we need to find a refutation to knight f4 check, king g5. But as you pointed out, there's the idea of knight here and here. But I guess because it's a puzzle, the computer will go for the other line, for the checkmate idea. Okay, so I'm gonna play knight f4 and yeah, yes, king f5. So now b7, queen there, king b4. Yeah, we need to go there. I was thinking c5 here as an alternative. We just take it and we're fine. Okay, never mind. So I need to promote here. Yeah, here if he checks, he's lost. So he has to go for this, this, and now let's see if I wasn't confused here. Knight g7 check. If he goes here, if he goes here, knight g6 is checkmate. It's a beautiful checkmate. So he has to go here, and then we go check. Has to go back, check, and no matter where he goes, knight f3 is checkmate. No, knight f3 is not checkmate. Yeah, of course it's not. Now we need to find the checkmate here, guys. Oh, there must be a checkmate now. I mean, I have the draw, but if I made this progress, it's because of this and checkmate, right? And if he goes here, d4, no. If he goes here, oh boy, I missed a square. But knight f g6, he goes up, right? So I think I have to go with knight h g6, and he has to go back. And then knight e7 check, and knight takes c6, and I win the queen, right? I think this and this. And if I go here, and he goes here, then knight e6 is checkmate. This is checkmate, isn't it? Now I'm not missing any squares. Yes. Okay, yeah, this was a beautiful puzzle. Yes. Uvda. And I missed a square. I thought we had checkmate like 5 moves ago. We got lucky. That was like a 20 move puzzle. Let's see. But he should have sacked queen. Yes, yes, of course, Mike. We can see that in the analysis board now. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 moves. But yeah, he should have gone here. And I don't think I have a checkmate, so I have to win the queen. Yeah, there's no checkmate. Cool. Cool. This reminds me of I don't know if you remember, if you were here, this puzzle we had on this session on domination endgames. Maybe some of you were here. Let's go to Lichess for a second and show it. Because when we did the last puzzle of the book, the Domination Endgames book, it was similar ideas with two knights going for a long sequence. Let me show it because I think it's related to these ideas. No, not here. Learn, study. Not puzzles now. Domination, but in my studies, please. Oh, maybe I find it anyway. Here, yeah. This is the last puzzle of the book. I think you can see the board, yes? And this is a 26 moves long puzzle, and I'm just going to show the solution. I'm not gonna ask you to solve it now. So this is the position. We have two knights, and thankfully we have a bishop that is really strong there. But black has a lot of material: rook, queen, two pawns that are about to promote, the knight helping them. But thanks to the bishop and the two knights discover checks, and this king's position, which is similar to the puzzle we solved, the king in the middle being harassed by knights. Look at this sequence: knight check, king moves, knight check, king moves. This looks familiar. Yeah, we did this on the stream. Now a series of checks with this knight here. Look at the squares the king has. So the king is basically dancing. Well, he doesn't have this. So the king is basically dancing while we move the knight from one side to another. And we managed to take with check the rook. But we cannot take the queen because he has two pawns to promote. So we first need to grab this pawn. So we go all the way back with the knights. Check, 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 check. And now we take e2 with check. And now that e2 is gone, we can take the queen. So we do the maneuver back again with the knights. We go all the way back. And then we take the queen. And the puzzle is solved. Because we protect that. Yeah, it was a beautiful one, and if I remember correctly, we solved it. We didn't see the whole line from without moving the pieces, but we solved it without looking at the book. Yeah. Okay, I'm crying inside. These puzzles are too great. Oh, if you want to see this one, this study is public. You can find it here, study domination. Yeah, and from time to time we add more puzzles to that study. Okay, so let's go back to chess.com. Last Monday, next Monday we're gonna do rook and pawn versus rook, I think. it's gonna be the topic for the next Monday. Last Monday we didn't do a domination. Yeah, we did domination, I think. Okay. We solved 2 puzzles. Let's try to do at least 3. Let's go for the next one. It would be nice to do 5. Did you solve that puzzle then? No, that puzzle we solved it a long time ago. Your message was not sent because you're sending messages too quickly. No, I think in the first session of domination puzzles we did that one. H3, next puzzle. But why H3 if you can play King G2, John? King G2 threatens checkmate, so why not? Ah, because you want to do checkmate anyway. Okay, yeah, I like your move better. So H3 check. He cannot take it because of Queen H5 checkmate, so he has to go to F3. Well, this is the kind of position where it's a funny position. We're a lot of material down, but a lot, but we extracted black's king. So this is absolutely about checkmating the king. There's no way there's other goal in this position but to checkmate. So H3, King F3, and now I don't know how to continue. So maybe King G2 wasn't stupid at all to start with, because H3, King F3, and if we check, he attacks a rook, and yeah, H3 is too funny to be part of the solution. Yeah, but if we start with King G2, what can black do? The king has no moves, he cannot take a rook or a queen, and we're threatening H3 checkmate. How's he gonna stop H3 checkmate or F3 checkmate? He has no checks. He has no way to attack the H3 square. So so yeah, I think it's that simple. I would panic as black. I don't see anything for black after King G2. Black has no checks, has no king moves, has no way to defend H3 square. Can't take our pieces. King G2, F3, G4. No, but King G2, okay, threatens both H3 checkmate and F3 checkmate. It's checkmate. We don't need to follow up with G4, it's already checkmate. We have all the squares covered. Ah, 95, okay, only move 95. Yes, yes, okay, okay, only move. Then rook takes e5. Ah, then bishop b7. Okay, okay, cool. So, King G2, 95, finally a move. Then f3, King f5, G4, King f4. Okay. Maybe just rook d4 check, King f5, G4 checkmate after 95. So King G2, 95. Rook d4 check, and only move is King f5, and G4 is not checkmate because the knight defends. Aha. Cool. Okay. He's very scary. Who's scary? 95. Well, I have an idea, but it's crazy. h3, then queen h5. But h3, king f5. I have an idea, but it's crazy. So let's try it. King g2, knight e5, rook takes knight. Renewing the checkmate threats. Only way to stop them, bishop b7 check. Then f3 check, bam! Then only move, bishop takes f3 check, right? Then king f2. And because the rook is still hanging on e5, he has no checks, he has no bishop d4. And the idea is, if he takes the rook, we checkmate with h3 check, and queen h5 checkmate. And if he doesn't, we're threatening that checkmate anyway. We're threatening that checkmate. So how is black stopping that? I think I can sacrifice the f3 pawn, the f pawn at f3, and then play king f2, and I'm threatening a checkmate. Ah, h5 he has. After king f2. No, but then I keep the rook. If I keep the rook, no. Then I have rook takes g5. Oh, this is a funny position. Joey. Okay, maybe that was a crazy idea. But I think in g295 is probably the working line. And now I could start with f3. But king f5. Oh wait, h5 I have queen takes c4. Oh wait. Look, my line. My line. King g2, knight e5, rook takes e5. I'm threatening f3 and h3 with checkmate, both of them. And f5 is again covered. He cannot go bishop takes because the queen covers f5. So only move bishop b7 check, f3 check in response, only move bishop takes f3 check, and then king f2. And I thought I'm threatening h3 and queen h5 because f5 is protected and he has no checks. And I thought, oh no, but he can defend with h5. But h5, queen takes c4 checkmate with the rook on e5 still hanging. Okay, it's not checkmate, it's bishop e4 and then queen takes bishop checkmate. Is it checkmate? Oh, there's king h3. King h3. So maybe he goes king h3 first instead of giving up the bishop. Then queen f1 checking back to g4. h5 checkmate if the pawn is on h5. h3 checkmate. Okay, so queen f1. Okay, yeah, that's checkmate, I think. That sound? What sound? This one? h3, king f3, rook f5, king e2 is forced because if king e4, then queen d5. Yeah. Please calculate your line first, Pepe. Yeah, I'm calculating my line. King g2, I think knight e5 is forced. Rook takes e5. I think bishop b7 is forced. f3 check. I think bishop takes is forced. Then king f2. And then I'm not sure if h5 is forced, but I think it is. h5 only move that prevents h3 with checkmate. Oh, it's not the only move. Wait, there's also king h3. Because the bishop defends h5. But then king takes bishop. renewing the threat of the checkmate, and then if h5, I guess rook takes g5? No. I was calculating h3, king f3, rook f5, king g4, queen d4 earlier. Okay, I'm not sure. I mean, I think it must be checkmate, but I didn't figure out everything. Pepe, I don't follow after bishop takes f3. Okay. Can you explain one more time? Yes, sure. King g2. 95, rook takes e5, bishop e7 check, f3 check, bishop takes f3 check, king f2. My threat is h3 followed by nothing, because then queen h5 is not checkmate. So maybe that's not great, actually. I guess my threat is queen takes c4, but maybe it's not such a strong threat as I thought. So after king f2, black can play queen f8. Queen f8, queen takes c4 check. King h5. Yeah, maybe the line is not that great. I said it was crazy. Okay, let's try something new. h3, king f3. Let's try to find a good move there. Hey, okay, but queen takes f6 doesn't hand the queen? What is your idea there? No! Okay, let's calculate the line. King f3, rook f5 check. So king e4 loses, of course. King e2, queen c4 has to lose. Here, queen c1, here, queen e3, here, rook d5. Yeah, loses, so queen back to g4, only move. Same line, rook d4 is mate. Are you sure? Okay, because the knight controls g4. Okay, so h3, king f3, rook f5. Ah, you start with g4. Oh, that's, yeah, good idea. Okay, king g2, 95. h3, king f5 only move. g4 check, and the knight is pinned. So king e4. There's king e4, so we might need f3 instead of h3, right? So let's do the same with f3. King g2. I calculated that a month ago. 95. Ah, but if we go f3, then there's no checkmate because there's e3. Ah, so I think there's no checkmate there. King g2, 95. h3, king f5, g4, king e4. Oh, but maybe there's checkmate. Maybe there's checkmate. 95, f3 check. I guess knight takes f3, just h3 checkmate. So knight cannot take, so king f5 only move. Then g4 check, then king f4 only move. Then rook d4 check, then king e3 only move. Then rook e4 check, then king must go to the d line. Obviously d3 would be a mistake, so king d2 only move. Then queen d5. Oh, the knight is on e5. His knight is on e5, so maybe king d3 is actually possible. But I guess against both of them, I go queen d5 check. But there's 93. There's 93. He must be checkmated there. I mean, 93, queen takes e4. There must be a checkmate there, but I would love to see the whole line before playing it. Okay, I'm going to calculate one more time the most forcing line h3, and if that doesn't work, I guess king g2 is gonna be it. King here, rook check, king back to g4. Let's calculate that. Maybe just rook takes bishop in that position. Oh wait, the king cannot go back to g4. What am I saying? h3 checking f3, rook f5 check. The king cannot go back to g. What am I saying? This is totally winning now. 2 minutes into this puzzle, Pepe thought it was a mate in 2. Yeah, I thought it was after king g2. But look at this: h3 checking f3, rook f5, king e2 only move. Then queen takes c4 check. And I mean, if that's not winning, then chess is unfair. Hey Dionut, do they have tactics for players who usually lose a piece early? You need that. Now let's say you sacrifice it. Why not king g4, John? Because we have a pawn on h3. Man, we have a pawn on h3. King g4 is not legal. So king e2, queen takes c4 check. King must go somewhere. Oh, maybe it's not so clear. King d2, rook d5 check, and he blocks with some piece. Knight d4, for example. And we cannot checkmate only with the queen. But queen c3 check. King e2. Ah! Rook f3, I think. Ah no, the knight is where the the knight is on c6. Okay. So let's try this. h3, king here, rook f5, king e2 only move. And now instead of queen takes c4, I guess queen takes c4 is good. Queen takes c4. And then after king d2, for example, which is not the only move, I thought rook f3. I don't get why not queen h5 instead of rook f5. Well, rook f5 seems... Ah, yeah, I can tell you that real fast. Queen h5, king e4, and how do we win? We need to be very slow, like queen d1, king g2. We need several moves to save our rook and start threatening checkmates again. So, okay, again, rook f5, king e2, queen takes c4, check. I guess king e1 loses, I guess. Just probably queen c1, queen e3, and then bring the rook to the c file. So, or even queen c1, queen f1, and rook to the d file with check. Although there's knight d4. Okay, but yeah, I assume that loses. So he has to go to the d file. Let's say king d2. Then rook f3 is interesting, and he has knight e5 still, but then allows queen c3. It allows queen c3. So I have the feeling that h3 wins, and if it wins, it has to be the line. But that would mean that against king g2, 95 is enough to save the game for black, which is amazing. Queen c3 or rook e3. Yeah, also rook e3. Yeah, rook e3 also works. I had that feeling 10 seconds into the puzzle. Yeah. But it's hard to work all the lines. So h3, let's see if we find something for black. After queen takes c4, king d2, not the only move, but king d1 has the same problems, I guess. Rook f3. I don't know, bishop a6. We're threatening rook d3 check, followed by, for example, after king 1, queen c1, queen c2, rook d1. Yeah, that's checkmate. I think it's winning, guys, and I think it's forced. So I'm gonna go for it. It's more forced than king g2. It's checks are more forcing than checkmate threats, even though checkmate threats are really forcing. But 95, amazing. And okay, yes. Yes. Always check your checks. Thanks, Joey. Let's go to the analysis board and see how to save the game for black if king g2. Because king g2 seemed so winning. Not the whole line. Rawr, terrible. Look at this. King g2. Threatening two different checkmates. And then 95. Allowing that. And then several ideas here. The most promising, which one was it? We said rook d4 was one idea, but then g4 is not checkmate because the knight is defending. I thought also this, and then the only move is this one, then check, then here, and I sort of have these threads, and I assumed he couldn't do this because this is checkmate. I want to see checkmate too. So we're threatening this. Someone said, no worries, queen f8 is good. And it's probably good. And black has a lot of material. If we don't checkmate, we're in trouble. There's this check, but it seems it's not useful. It's amazing how black survives in this position. And then instead of rook takes e5, we thought this as well, and check. And if he goes here, this is checkmate. The problem is he goes here. And we might think, okay, instead of using the h-pawn, let's use the f-pawn, so he doesn't have king e4. But then he has king f4, king e3. So here, check. He has to go here, because if he takes, this is checkmate, a very sexy one. So he has to go here, here, and he's escaping. And I tried to calculate this, but with the knight on e5, I didn't see a checkmate here. And I thought chess would be very unfair if this is not checkmate, but I don't know, maybe black can bail out with knight f4 or sacrifice yet another piece, because black has a lot of pieces. It's amazing. We don't have a clear checkmate in that line. And what else? Oh, then the line I fancied for a bit was after h5. Was this the line? Oh no, it was with the bishop, sorry, with the bishop on f3, of course. And after h5, which is not forced because queen f8, yes. Then I thought this, and this was a beautiful mate as well. Engine in that line, maybe there is, but it's long. You can use engine if you like. Okay, I'm not gonna use engines in the in in these tactics streams. Hey Legion, Legion, are you Legion Destroyer, the one and only Legion? Couldn't you play Rook G5 in that line? In which line, John John? I'm sorry because I'm showing lines very fast. Yeah, no worries. Okay, I don't like using engines, and also the few times I did, my CPU tends to to make the stream crash. So not really a point in using engine. Affirmative. Oh, cool. With the queen on f7, the current line. With the queen on f7. So instead of queen takes c4, you want to play rook takes g5. Yeah, this line was in my mind, and I think I even commented that it was possible, but I think we're not winning here. Yeah, he takes with king. Even I think he can even take with bishop, because I don't see a checkmate here, or maybe I'm blind, but I don't see a checkmate here. Like if we take here, he can just escape. And okay, maybe this is risky, but yeah, we cannot even take here because of rook f8. So yeah, no, rook takes g5 was too much there. So it's amazing that, I mean, king g2 seemed completely winning, and until you find this amazing knight e5. It's still amazing. There's no checkmate here. Okay, and the solution, yes, h3. This is completely forced because king takes allows this checkmate. So this was completely forced. Then rook f5 check, and I was confused by John John's suggestion of going back to g4, and I didn't find a good move until I realized the pawn was on h3. Okay, this obviously loses to queen d5 checkmate, so he had to go here. And the puzzle was solved after queen takes c4, but we can show some lines from here. I thought after king e1 we had at least this check and check here. He has to go here, and then rook c5. And maybe rook c5 is not the best. Maybe we check first on d5. I don't know. This looks not great. Is this a game you played or just tactics, Legion? We're doing tactics on chess.com. Rook c5, bishop takes b2, and now, yeah, maybe rook c5 is not the move there, or maybe queen e3 is not the move. Maybe just check here now. This is only move. This is looking dangerous. Now this may be threatening rook e3. Ah, but he's not forced to bishop d4. Ah, but I think against bishop d4 and rook d8 I do the same, rook d3. So this was my idea. So maybe this is completely forcing now. Then set up queen e3, rook c1. Queen e4, rook d5, like after queen c4. I didn't like queen. Oops. I didn't like rook d5 in these lines. Okay, because of he putting a piece on d4. For example, after. So you say queen e4 and then rook d. Well, I don't know where you say that at which point. But in general, for example, after king d2, which was my main line in my head, I didn't like this because of this. And I can never make a checkmate construction. I don't want to give my rook for 2 pieces because, you know, a lot of material down. So I thought, for example, after king d2, we had rook f3, threatening these checkmates. If I can draw an arrow, chess.com, yes. And against knight e5, simply check. If he goes here, check on d3. If he goes here, check on e3 with the rook. So yeah, this is, I don't know, let's say this, for example. Only move, we have checkmate. So rook f3, I think, is the way to go, to use this d3 square. And never do this check, because he can block with a piece, and then he had knight takes d3. Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Here I don't play. I don't play rook d3, of course. Here I play rook e3. Or not. I don't play that either. So maybe queen c3 is a mistake. It cannot be a mistake. I remember we talked about this position and we saw winning line, but maybe it was a bad one. Maybe queen d4 check. Maybe it's that simple. Yeah, this is simple, because against the king to the e file we have rook e3 checkmate, and against king to the c file we have rook c3 with probably some checkmates as well. Queen d2, queen rook c1, right? For example, this rook here, and if he takes, there's queen d2, rook c1, and if he doesn't take, there's queen check. Again, if he takes, there's queen d2, rook c1, so he has to take here, and then, I mean, this has to be checkmate, or this is not the best. Let's do this. Now he has to take this, and we have a kill box here, queen and rook killing the king. And there's probably many other ways to checkmate here when you have king and queen versus a naked king. Poof. That was a cool puzzle, because this is called a kill box. Yes, it's a kill box. Joanna knows this tactical theme. She can tell you. Was a nice tactic, because at the starting position it was pretty clear that king g2 was winning, and it wasn't. Okay, let's go for the next one, guys. Wow, no more endgames today. A naked king. There is an entire story about that, right? Yes, the one that thought he had invisible clothes, right? Okay. What do we have here? I mean, taking here and taking on g7 and queen g5 is like the first idea that strikes. But he can take on f7 with the king on one hand. He can block on g6 maybe with the bishop on the other hand. So, okay, maybe we need to find some other ideas. We can start with this. But okay, what's the idea? If I open the g file and I sack the rook because I'm so crazy, and then after bishop takes g7, what else? I play queen g5, I'm threatening checkmate. Yes. But then he plays bishop g6, and it's not so clear the checkmate threat. This one takes me more than 10 seconds. Yeah, probably. But maybe we can use those ideas in a different move order, like starting with bishop takes g7, or actually taking with the bishop as well. After pawn takes, bishop takes, but he can do with the king as well. Bishop takes is an option. And then even after bishop takes, we might sack the rook, play queen g5, h6. Nah, that's too crazy. Is f7 better than h7? I don't know. h7 is interesting as well. I was thinking that. Yeah, actually this is very strong now, because he cannot go to f8, so he must either take the pawn or play king h8. But if king h8, I think I just sack everything on g7. And then he cannot block, right? If king h8, bishop g7, rook g7, and after king g7, queen g5 check, king takes h7 is forced, and eesh, we're not winning there. So maybe I don't sacrifice everything. So after king h8, bishop g7, and h6, no, queen g5, because our pawn still controls g8. Queen g5 threatening checkmate. He cannot defend the bishop, and if he moves the bishop to f6, we have queen g8 with checkmate. Oh, that's a cool line. So pawn takes. If king h8, bishop takes g7. He might take the pawn, but if he takes the bishop, then queen g5. We're threatening checkmate. There's no way to defend g7. He has no checks. Maybe he can distract our queen with bishop h6, but we take it. I guess we renew queen g7 threats, and he cannot defend it, so that's okay. And if bishop f6, we play queen g8, and it's checkmate. Next move, we promote to a queen. Okay. So after pawn takes king h8, bishop takes g7. The other alternative is king takes h7, but then queen h6, queen h8 is checkmate. So after pawn takes, he has to take. It's forced. Yes. I like it, John. I like to take on h7. Now, I think we still have the same ideas, or similar. Bishop takes d7, threatening queen h6, queen h8 checkmate, so he's probably forced to take. And then if queen g5, he has rook g8. Or maybe even bishop g6 there. Because I'm not gonna sack the queen on g6, right? The typical queen g6, pawn takes with discovered, double check, and then rook h7. Nah, that cannot work. I was calculating 95 for a bit, but quickly threw it away when I spotted rook c2. Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't move that knight. Okay, so my working line now is pawn takes, he has to take. And then I thought bishop g7, but maybe I have some other options. Rook g7 doesn't seem fine. Doesn't seem right. But maybe I can use the other rook as well on the g file after that. Okay, let's say bishop g7, bishop g7. The most forcing line would be rook takes g7. h6 any good in that line? Well, I can continue with h6 now after trading on g7. But then bishop back to f6, and I'm kind of stuck. I have also queen g2, not necessarily just queen g5. I don't know if that's useful in any way. Okay, pawn takes, king takes. Bishop g7, bishop g7. Pepe is 900 points above me. Oh, hearing on Chess.com tactics, to be honest, it keeps going up and up and up. But as you know from my streams, I don't mind spending 50 minutes on a puzzle until we see the solution. So I guess that makes it easier to keep increasing the rating. Of course, this is ridiculous rating. It's also like 600 points above my Lichess tactics puzzles rating. So after bishop g7, bishop g7. Oh, did I pay something? Okay. Bishop g7, bishop g7. If queen g5, just bishop f6 or rook g8 seems risky, but yeah, I don't like queen g5. But what about rook g7? Let's go crazy. Rook g7, king has to take, then queen g5, king h7 maybe. That's a problem. No, king h7, there's rook g1. There's no way for him to stop the checkmate. That's cool. So rook g7 is interesting. You didn't consider all the threats. Yeah, puzzle ratings depends on average time spent too, and he often gets input from chat. I mostly just distract him. Yeah, input from the chat sometimes helps, and sometimes just distracts me. Rook f7, what? What are you saying, Lord Sakuho? You see about distracting his Sakuho is saying random moves in the in the chat. What is that? Queen a5, rook takes b8. What? Rook takes b8. Wow. Okay. Oh, there's a queen b3 checkmate in the end. Brilliant, Sakuho. Thanks for that line. I think I'm not following that line though. Okay, so takes on h7, he takes bishop g7, rook g7, king g7, queen g5 check. If he goes to h7, he's checkmated. If he goes to h8, he's checkmated as well with rook g1. So he has to go to f8. Then what? Then I have two ideas. h6 is one, and just go for the promotion, and rook g1 is another, and go for the promotion anyway. But it's too slow. We're 3 moves away from promoting, and he might just take on c3. So after king f8, I would prefer to have something stronger than h6, h7, h8. So maybe start with h6 check instead of queen g5 check. h6 check, but then king h7, and if queen g5, rook g8. Dun 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 dun. Okay, let's consider queen g5 for a second. King f8, h6, rook takes c3, and I'm gonna go crazy. h7, rook takes c2 check, king b1, c1 is more than protected with promoting, rook takes b2 check. I have to take on b2 because a2 is hanging with check as well. And then he has queen c3 check, king b1. My queen is very far away on g5. No, that's terrible. He has at least a perpetual with queen b4, queen c3, and he maybe has more than that with bishop takes a2, queen c2. So that's not working. Hello, EASSTRR. So takes, bishop g7, bishop g7. Rook g7 doesn't seem working. Hey Sefa, hello. Welcome. You're angry because message wasn't sent. You're here. Uptime. Roar. Please stop spamming caps. You're gonna get Nightbot angry. I'm gonna do uptime for you. Oh, message didn't come. You mean the notification that I was streaming? Oh, yeah, 2 hours. Yes. Don't be sad. Join us. Join us with this puzzle. Downtime. Rawr. Oh, we had another command. What was it? Uptime, and there was something time. That was 69 hours. Okay. Just playing bullet untilted. Okay. So pawn takes e7, king takes, bishop takes d7, bishop takes. Is that good or not? I don't like calculating this one. Then don't calculate, John. Rook takes d7, king takes, and rook g1. How about that? Instead of queen g5 check, rook g1 check. Because if king f8, we have queen h6 check. I don't know if that's any good. But if king goes to the h file, we transpose. So he has to go to f8 because king f6, queen g5 check, mate. So he has to go to f8 after rook g1 check. Maybe that line is better because the queen is defending c3 and c2 now. And after king f8, instead of queen h6 check, we might play h6. So rook g1, interesting. King f8, h6. If rook takes c3, just h7. King e7. No, rook takes e2 is a threat. Shoot. Shoot. We've been at this puzzle for 2 hours now. That's not true. That's untrue. So I'm really liking this move, this first move, but I'm not seeing, you know, the strongest line. Is that your first puzzle? No, it's the fourth one, Sefa. I still like bishop takes g7. It has to be it, or maybe rook takes g7, bishop takes, king takes. Oh wait, I have one idea, guys. This is something I do many times with puzzles, because this is a puzzle. Oh, but in chess.com it doesn't work like that. Maybe the puzzle stops after the 2 first moves. Okay, never mind. If you do this stream more than 4 hours, I'm okay. Oofda. I've done a lot of tactics already, and I wanted to play some games with Joey after the stream, so I don't think it's gonna be much longer from now. I'm sorry. So pawn takes h7. If king takes h7, my current calculation go bishop c4. What? What are you saying, John? So, we should do a command for Nightbot to throw random lines. Okay. What I'm thinking is, if bishop g7, rook takes g7, king takes g7, it's actually the same that after pawn takes, king takes, if I go rook takes g7, and I think he has to take, bishop takes g7, and then bishop takes g7, and again I think he has to take, and he takes. So it's 2 lines that lead to the same solution, to the same position, sorry, and the 2 lines white decides with, you know, to take with one or the other. So in general, if one line works, the other has to work. And that means that either that's not the solution, ban random lines, either that's not the right solution, or the puzzle stops after pawn takes, which I don't believe it. So let's try to find some other ideas. One thing I'm not liking, okay, I really like to remove this pawn, because then we have threats to promote our pawn, but it seems that we're too slow to promote it. So maybe that's not as important as removing the f-pawn, because one problem here is when the king escapes, he has shelter. So let's consider for a second taking the other pawn. The ideas could potentially be similar. Potentially. Now he has 2 options. Taking with the king. He has many options. He has king f8 even king h8. Yeah, I don't like taking the f-pawn. I think taking the h-pawn was very, very dangerous. And all those checkmates with queen h6, we don't have them anymore. On the other hand, if the king goes to e7, we might have some knight e5, which actually we could have in the other line as well. Pawn takes, king takes. So if rook takes leads to the same as bishop takes, rook takes, let's wait here for a second. After bishop takes d7, let's not take on g7. Let's find an improvement. What about... but the bishop is alive. I don't like that dark square bishop to be alive. So queen g5, bishop f6. Just take the h-pawn, GMCF assess. Yeah, I think it's the move I like, but I want to see the solution. So bishop g7, rook g6 is nuts. queen g5, bishop f6, queen g6, takes, king g7, rook h7, king back. I have nothing there. We could start. Is this any different if I start with bishop takes g7? And he takes with the bishop, then if I take on h7 it's the same, but if I play h6 or something like that, h6, he might just sacrifice the bishop. Yeah. No, that's nuts. That is nuts. Nuts. So, what am I not seeing? There might be some other ideas here after king takes h7. I like nuts. I don't like them. Oh, half a message. Okay. Okay. Let's calculate again. Nothing happened, Janjo. Sorry. Let's focus. Let's focus. Pawn takes h7. This is forced. King takes. No, I must not say. Sorry. So rook g7, bishop g7. Do we have some idea there? Did you get a D pick? No, I didn't get any picks. I see it. G takes h7, king takes h7, bishop g7, bishop g7, rook g7, king g7, h6 check, queen g5 for h6 next. No, but okay, we calculated that line already, and after h6 check, king f8, we have nothing, I think. So king h7, bishop g7, rook g7, and king g7, h6 check, king f8. If h7, probably just rook takes c3. Sometimes have nothing is having a lot. King f8, h7. Yeah, but I'm getting a queen on h8. Okay, let's say instead of rook takes c3, let's say king e7. Ah, no, wait. You went h6 check before going to the g file. No. We had a refutation for that. It was king h7. Wait. It was king h7. Okay. So yeah, pawn takes. Sorry, because I mixed lines there. Bishop takes rook g7, king g7. If h6 check, king h7. King h7. That's the refutation, because if queen g5, there's rook g8. And if rook g1, instead of queen g5, we're not threatening checkmate, but we're threatening queen g5. But I think we don't have time. No, queen g5, there's rook g8, okay. There's rook g8. So we should start with rook g1 to threaten queen g5. But then I think black is in time to take on c3, because then we cannot play queen g5, because we're checkmated. So I think that line doesn't work. And I have another reason why that line shouldn't work. And the other reason is after pawn takes, king takes, both bishop takes g7 and rook takes g7 lead to that line. Both of them. So I think if the solution is bishop takes g7, after bishop takes g7, the solution must be something different than rook takes g7, because we could get to that same position in the other move order, and that's not correct for a puzzle where there's only one solution. Rook g5 then looks scary. I still believe pawn takes h7 must be the solution, but we need to find something strong. I want to find something strong, really strong. But yeah, I don't see anything better than bishop g7 then. Or maybe after rook g7, bishop g7, something that is not bishop g7, or after bishop g7, bishop g7, something that is not rook g7. For example, queen g5. But queen g5, I think, has to be answered with bishop f6. Alright, gotta go, but happy to catch your stream for the first time. Oh, thanks, Legion, thanks for being here. I like the format of thinking out the problem until you find the whole solution. Yeah, thank you. I think that's the way to improve. Sometimes it gets hard. And it gets definitely very long, like in puzzles like this one. So most people get bored, but I'm okay. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope we see you around the crazy house circles. Queen g5, bishop f6. We have nothing there, right? Always around for crazy house. Cool. Hey Goku! All finished with that task, Joey? Cool. How was it? Queen, bishop, knight, rook. What? Okay, guys, we're stuck with this one. some idea missing. Yes, I was, Joey. So pawn takes. But you're not getting mad at me, right? Because of that. King takes. Do we have some ideas? For example, like queen g2 there. Not mad. Cool. Maybe I start with queen g2. Nah, that's crazy. So pawn takes. Or queen g2 instead of queen g5 after taking on g7. If queen g2 first, rook g8. So pawn takes, king takes, queen g2, rook g8. Yeah. Oh, then queen g6. Oh boy. Pepe, please don't smile. My concentration destroys. Okay, sorry. Okay, so pawn takes, king takes, queen g2, and the idea is king takes bishop. He has king takes bishop. No. King takes bishop. He doesn't have king takes bishop because of queen g6 check. Yes. We found a new idea. We found a new case where queen g6 works. He does have an amazing smile. Or pawn takes bishop. It's a secret smile. What? True. Haley, see you in a bit. Let me switch on my laptop and use multi to each. Okay, Goku. Is Hikaru streaming? Okay, we have an idea. I'm confused. Okay, so pawn takes, king takes. My idea is queen g2, threatening bishop takes g7. The problem is rook takes c3. So maybe we need to start with or maybe not. Maybe I can still win there after rook takes c3. Queen g6 takes king g8. No, we don't win there. So what is my idea? What is my idea? My idea with queen g2 is to threaten bishop g7, and rook g8 is answered with the amazing queen g6 check, pawn takes, king h8, bishop g5 with checkmate in the next move. So queen sacrifice. And pawn takes, queen g2, king takes h6 is answered again with queen g6 check, pawn takes with check, and it's going to be checkmate in 2 moves. No, not rook g6, but pawn takes g6. Pawn takes g6 John John with checkmates. It's a queen sacrifice that leads to checkmate always in those lines. Now the problem is after pawn takes, king g2, queen g2, he has rook takes c3, and I don't have queen g6 there. And if I go for bishop takes g7, then rook takes c2, and I resign basically. And I resign. So therefore maybe I need to start with bishop takes d7. And then after bishop takes d7, instead of queen g5 that we were trying, just queen g2. So bishop, but then there's no checkmate. If we remove the pawn on g7, the checkmate ideas don't really work, I think, with queen g6, I mean. So after pawn takes, king takes, either I find something against queen g2, rook takes c3, or Or I find a better way to do it. Instead of bishop g7, okay, let's say queen g2, rook c3. I cannot sacrifice the queen, I cannot take on g7, I should not take the rook, I think. Then queen g7 says okay. No, but queen g7 is not working. I'm not sure if I follow your line. Okay, you say bishop g7 in the first move, like here. I don't believe it. I think he gives away the bishop. He gives the bishop back. He takes on g6. We already covered that, I think. But okay, takes. If queen g2, there's rook c3, and I'm not sure. And if I take on g7 and he takes back, he has to take back. That's good news. Then queen g2. I guess bishop h6 is possible. And we miss that. Bishop h6 check, king b1. And then I'm no longer threatening checkmate. So that's a problem. And if he doesn't check us, then we have queen g6 ideas. But no, I don't. If we remove the g7 pawn, I don't have the checkmate threats with queen g6. I would love to make that work without taking on g7. So takes, and queen g2. But rook takes c3 is the problem. Unless we find something really strong there. That I don't see. And if we take, pawn takes c3, queen takes, nah. King b1, yeah. King b1 rar, nah. So pawn takes h7. I see something, Pepe. What do you see? If I start with queen g2, can you read? Yes, I'm reading you. Defense is best offense, right? I think it's the other way around. Your solution is right. What? If rook c3? bc3? Then queen takes c3. Probably. Ay. We've been a long time here. No, I cannot allow queen c3, Sefa, because then he has at least perpetual checks. Okay, says gh, king h, bishop g7, h6. I don't understand the bishop f6 later because we already gave up our bishop, but okay. I like it anyway, the h6 idea. Ah, his bishop f6, black bishop, okay. Oh, okay, Joey. I think I'm gonna finish soon. Maybe we do one more puzzle after this one. And have a good rest, Joey, and talk to me when you're awake. See you later. See you later, love. There is King D1, amazing move. I don't believe it, Sefa. Maybe you're right, but I don't believe it. I see a lot of checks. Queen A1 check, Queen D4 check. Then we can never go up because of Rook takes C2. I don't think we should allow this. I think we shouldn't allow that. No check threats because of Bishop D2, Bishop C1. Wow, which line are you talking about? Because we're giving up this bishop. Okay, so maybe the line you're trying to say is this. Takes, Queen G2. Rook takes C3, Pawn takes C3, Queen takes C3. But if I want to take on G7, I don't have Bishop C1 and Bishop D2. And if I don't take on G7, what is my threat? My threat is Queen G6? No, because he has G8 to escape. Interesting. Takes. So Bishop G7, and let's see OK's idea, H6. After Bishop G7, H6. I like that idea. That's threatening Pawn takes G7, killing. So he has to move the bishop. He can't take on H6. He has to play either Bishop F6 or Bishop F8 or Bishop H8. Bishop H8 seems like Queen G5 should win on the spot. Should it? Maybe Bishop H8 is a move, I don't know. Show your shirt. Is it Keep Calm and Play Chess? Where is it from? No, it's Keep Calm and it's from IT Crowd. It's Keep Calm and call 0118999 If you watch the series, you know. I just give something, calculating is your work. Okay, Sefa, thanks for the idea. The idea of retreating the bishop is interesting because in some lines I don't want to take on G7, so it's an interesting idea. Have you called that number? No, I didn't try because I didn't have any emergency. It's an emergencies number. So pawn takes, Bishop G7 forced, then H6. I like that line, okay, I like it. It's really forced. So bishop moves. Let's say Bishop F6, the logical move. Bishop F6, Queen G2, Rook C3, and we don't have checkmate, do we? No, we don't. Ah, but I have Rook G7 instead of Queen G2 in that line. Oh, against all bishop moves, Bishop H8, Bishop F8, Bishop F6, I have Rook G7 check. And if he takes, I have Pawn takes G7 check. If he takes it, I have Queen H6, Queen H8 checkmate. So he cannot take the pawn, but if he cannot take the pawn, we have problems. Queen G7 is mate. No, it's not, okay. In the line you give, the bishop is defending G7, but I go Rook G7 instead of putting the queen on the G line. I go Rook G7, if he takes it, Pawn takes G7 check. If he takes it, we have checkmate. If he doesn't take it, we have... If King G8 we have checkmate into, if King G6 we have Queen H6 checkmate. So Rook G7 is the move there. After H6 bishop moves, Rook G7 check. So he needs the H8 square for the king. So let's say Bishop F6 or Bishop F8. So Bishop F6, Rook G7 check, King H8, then Queen H6. is checkmate. Oh, that line is forced checkmate. Okay, that line is forced checkmate, but not with queen g2, but rook g7. I rushed it. Sorry guys, I rushed it. There's no queen h6 if I pushed h6. Ah, sorry. Okay, sorry. I should have remained calm and see your idea. This is my bad. I got impatient after all this time with the puzzle. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. You're right. You're right. Okay. You were totally right. Don't apologize. It is your rating. Yeah, but I got impatient because we've been so long in this puzzle. I started hating it already. I rushed it a lot. If only I had a way that you could prevent me from doing this. When I see a line that works, just play it. I shouldn't do this. Oofda. Okay. Okay. We're still good. We're still good. We got at least first moves right, so maybe we didn't lose a lot of points. I'm not gonna show the lines because I'm so bored of this position already. Take Gamin, thanks for the follow. I hope you like the stream. Okay, this is a threat, so this is forced. Pawn here, and now queen g2 against any move. Yeah. So rook g8, we take it. It's checkmate. There's no rook g8. So there was no option for black. And takes, we have the same checkmate. Yeah. Okay, let's do one more. I'm extremely good at finding the first move in puzzles. Okay, yes, Jen. Sort of. Because the first puzzle today you said queen takes rook, and it wasn't queen takes rook. Okay, what do we have here? Our king is a bit trapped. So, for example, I think we already did this puzzle. Because I remember someone suggested knight b4 and there was this checkmate. I think I remember this position. I remember having this position. I don't remember the solution. But it's familiar. It's familiar. Okay, we have this check. We have queen f3 ideas as well. Queen f3 is really interesting. Every time check. Yes, we should always consider the checks first. And I only see one check. I don't know how that check helps though. Well, it removes the control of f6. There's queen d1 too. Yeah, of course there's queen d1 too. Okay, this rook is hanging. I would love to move it. If I put it here, threatening that rook, and he takes, I keep threatening queen at a1, queen e1, but I don't know how good is that. Am I remembering some ideas with this? Take with the bishop is okay. Wow, this is complicated. So material is equal. Material is equal, and I have no clue what this position is about. This is undefended, but this is undefended, and it's hanging right now. This is undefended, but I don't see a good fork or something. This is undefended as well, but both rooks can be defended very easily by moving this bishop. What could a logical move be? I mean, rook f8 seems normal, but doesn't look like the solution to a puzzle, unless white has a threat that I'm not seeing. So let's say we start with the check, with the obvious check. White needs to move the king, right? There's no way to not move the king. So where is the king going? Aha, he can't go here because of queen g4 check. So he can go here. He cannot go here because we're checking on this diagonal, so the king must go here. And then we have rook b8 check, which for some reason in my mind we didn't have this check because the queen was, in my mind the queen was on a7. So okay, now this makes a lot of sense, and now I remember we had this puzzle, and I'm pretty sure the solution was something like that. But we could start with this move first, threatening stuff, but of course that's not forcing, and he has options like bishop here or h4. So let's say check, king goes to the b line, rook b8 check, and I think the king must go to a1. But let's see what's wrong with king a3. What is wrong with king a3? Because I remember there was something wrong with that. Maybe just queen d2, attacking rook and b4 with checkmate. If bishop f6 we have to take, so there's no longer a checkmate, but after takes we take the rook. So queen d2 seems pretty decent there. Yeah, I guess the king has to go to a1. What's your name and your rating? Hey Wuri, what's up? Welcome back, Goku. I have probably a command with bio, and I have probably a command with rating or FIDE. But the bio says everything. Okay, perfect. So, but if you want to see my FIDE card, you can have a look at it as well. So, I think queen takes, check, king goes to the b line, one of those, and after rook check he has to go to a1 in both cases. And I think that was the hard part now, the hard part of the puzzle. We had queen d2, a rook still hanging on h8, I don't know how good my memory is, but I think it was this. Or maybe we just calculated this and it wasn't this. But okay, we have some ideas like knight b4 now that there's no bishop f, with our queen still on g5, there's no bishop f6. And the queen must defend c2. So maybe something like queen c4 or queen e2. Queen c4, queen e2. So maybe knight b4 is not so useful. Although then we have some ideas like knight takes a2 as well. But so crazy. So crazy. Oh, there's one extra line that is probably stupid for white, but we need to consider. Queen check, king b1, rook b8 check, bishop b2. We need to consider that. It's probably stupid. We have at least a check on c3 with the knight. Maybe queen d2 is also very strong there. Or just queen f6. Yeah, bishop b2 is very stupid, right? Queen d2, like you say, looks a strong fork, but bishop f6. Yeah, bishop f6. So, for example, check, king here, rook here, king there, and then queen d2. And then, yeah, he cannot take on h8 yet, so he has to save the rook somehow. Probably moving the bishop to maybe he has bishop b5. Oof, gets complicated, but then I take the bishop on d4. Yeah, queen d2 is probably winning material. Bishop b5, queen takes d4 with check, king b1, queen d2, bishop f6. Yeah, but we take it. I mean, I'm assuming if we take that bishop, we're good. Let's so the line check here, check here, queen d2, bishop f6, knight takes f6. I'm assuming we're a piece up. We're still threatening the rook, and we're now threatening queen c3 checkmate as well. So I don't think bishop f6 is good. So that seems working. And what about check here, queen d2, bishop b5? We take with check, yeah, whatever. No, what about check? Well, bishop b3, we take it. What about, looks easy, yeah. But I remember we had this position once. This is a repeating puzzle. This is not new, and I think we spent quite some time. Okay, let's consider for a second bishop b2. Queen d2 maybe. Queen d2. Bishop b5. We take it. We take the bishop probably in that case, or with the bishop. Oh, queen f. I already said queen f6. Yes, okay. I said it before, and and also queen g7. Yeah, bishop b2, queen f6, c3, queen takes c3, rook e2. Queen d3 check. King a1, queen d1, so king c1. Okay, maybe that wasn't the best. Maybe after c3 I have something better. Maybe I just stay with the knight with check. But a puzzle has just one solution. Yes. So queen takes here, check, bishop b2, queen f6, c3. Maybe I take with the knight, check. King moves, let's say, to the corner. Then I have rook takes bishop. Oh, rook takes bishop immediately. After, yeah, okay, so check here, rook check, bishop b2, queen here, c3, rook takes bishop, check, king takes, queen takes c3, check, king b1 only move, queen takes rook, check, queen back to c3 with check. Yeah, that should be winning, and then rook e8. Lol, meta-analysis, not can be f6 and g7 at the same time. Yeah, that's right, that's right. I agree with that, Sefa. So that line is probably not going to be played. Okay, let's go. Oh boy. Oh. The worst part is this puzzle, we already solved it another day. Um, what did we miss? What is the difference? I don't get it. Really? I don't get it. You're a horrible human being, John John. Okay, should we stop doing tactics? We failed two in a row and we've been streaming for so long already. I think we're not gonna get anything good out of this, out of continuing. um, I don't even understand what happened in this one. So I think it's time to stop. I think it's time to stop, guys. Is Kaito still streaming? Because I might raid him. So what is wrong with Rook B8, guys? What do you think? There's something we didn't see. What can be wrong with this? Just bishop d3, right? Ay, ay, ay. How could we miss that? Now, in the solution, you go queen d2 first, so after bishop d3 you have this fork. And if he goes here, you just go here. Why does bishop d3 not work? Because we have this fork on b4 with the queen. Yeah, exactly, okay. Okay, to be honest, we didn't spend much time on this one. What do you think, guys? Should we stop here or should we do one more? One more, says Worry. One more, says John John. Okay, let's do one more. I'm gonna go grab more coffee or fizzy water if I don't have more coffee. I'm gonna try and grab more coffee. I'm gonna put the position to you here. And uno más. And I'll be right back while you figure out the solution for sure that it's so obviously queen d3 check. Wait. So queen d3 check, king d1 only move. Wait. King d1 only move, right? Then I sack the rook, he takes, I come with the other rook. If he goes back, I have queen b1. Okay, it's not easy, right? It's not obvious. It's not obvious. Although we have rook c7 as well. Is it obvious? Rook takes c7, king e8 only move. King d8 only move. Then we take the bishop. Or we take here. Yeah. Ah, but it cannot be both solutions. So one of them is wrong. Rook e7. Oh, is this a checkmate in 3? Is this a checkmate in 3, guys? Rook e7, bishop e7, rook c7, and queen e7. So rook e7, I have a notification because Wuri is following. Thanks, Wuri. Rook e7. If king d8, we have rook e8 and queen e6. And the other legal move is taking, and then rook c7, and oh boy. Okay, and that was it for today's stream. No, let's do another. 1 point, yes, 2700 this puzzle. Maybe maybe what is interesting, or maybe people fail this one because this is tempting as well, queen e6, and rook takes is tempting. And then king d8, queen takes d6, bishop d7, and it's not checkmate? I think it's checkmate. Okay, let's do one more. Okay. Okay, this one we're in check. Right? That was surprisingly easy. Yeah. Queen e6, so tempting. I think okay has some luck. Okay. We're in check. I see 1, 2, 3 legal moves. So this one is risky because g5 check, king h5 only move. But if we're not checkmated there, it might be the solution. I don't know. Then we have to block with one rook on f3. On the other hand, if we block with one rook now on f6, he has g5. So maybe this puzzle is not so hard either. But at least we need to think a bit. So I'm gonna go grab coffee. Yeah. I'm back. Okay. Has to be king h6. Roar. Yeah. I think the same. Oh, my eye. Because of the g5 threat, right? If we put a rook on f6, we lose a rook. And I don't see anything. I mean, the rooks are defending each other, so we don't have a good threat. to claim we can afford to get, to lose a rook. Also, then we're totally exposed. If this pawn goes here and we have to go here, there are some checkmate ideas as well. So it has to be king h6, right? By elimination. Then g5 might happen and king h5, and okay, let's survive there. At the queen d1, we need to pick which rook to block with, and I guess that's the trick of the puzzle. But we might even be able to, with this rook, for example, we might be able even to defend the rook with the king, which is crazy. En passant, taking the white queen. What? En passant where? When? Okay, so because the alternatives are terrible, I'm gonna go king h6, and he didn't go g5. Nice. Oh, my eyes. I have some reaction to something today. Sorry. So, you were trolling, okay. Oh, by the way, I have some Crazy House news, guys. I should put that on the Discord. The other day on Joanna's stream, there was a guy in one arena, Cat Poacher. I played him, and after some games he suggested washing water. Yeah, I just did that, but still. So Cat Poacher suggested about the Crazy House Olympiad, and I think, okay, you're one of the organizers or people preparing it. So I decided to. I saw OJ suggesting he would be a great 400th board for United Kingdom, and I said, okay, why not? And I put a message there, and it turns out now in the current list I'm board number 4 for Spain. So I guess some stronger people might join, and I won't be selected. But if I'm finally selected for the Chess Crazy House Olympiad, Cat Poacher is pawn in training. Ah, okay. I'm not an organizer, but I advertise it. Okay, cool. I thought I saw you there in the spreadsheet. No, you're a free agent. Yeah, free agent. Okay, yeah. Anyway, I'm thrilled because there's a chance I get selected as part of the team, and if that happens, I really want to take my Crazy House to the next level. So I might be doing in the near future some more Crazy House training. I will do tactics, obviously, Crazy House tactics, but I would love to do analysis as well, especially with people that are stronger than me. That would be awesome to improve my Crazy House. I wanted to join Team Catalonia, but the organizer didn't let me. Oh, and other Spaniards might not like it. I don't mind. Risa blah blah. Hey, thanks for the host. Welcome everyone. We're doing a tactic here. We're doing tactics. This puzzle. So, what is White threatening? White might be threatening some tricks for checkmate that I'm not quite seeing right now. White might also trade queen for 2 rooks. So maybe this is a drawing puzzle, and we're supposed to draw here instead of winning. I don't know. I think we still have chances to win because we're 2 pawns up. So, okay, what is the threat? Why rook there? Why this move? Let's try to understand it. Well, it's preventing this going back, of course, but we're not interested in that. It's hard to understand that move. Or not. Maybe rook here, and we take g5 check. Why white didn't take f2? I don't know. Maybe that's a losing endgame. We have two extra pawns. It's hard to tell, Cefa. It's computers. And then after king g6, rook e6 with checkmate, right? So I guess rook h5 is a checkmate threat. I'm gonna I'm gonna rip out my eye from my body. I hope not to do that in front of the camera. Okay, what can we do? What can we do against that threat? Rook 7 f4, but that doesn't prevent the threat, John. Any rook to f4. Rook. Yeah, you said rook 7 f4. That doesn't prevent the threat, right? Check. This is only move. g5 check. King g6 only move. Rook e6 check. And then king f7 leads to checkmate, and any other blocking is also checkmate. Hey Ladol. So putting a rook here doesn't prevent the checkmate threat of rook h5. Rook f5 I don't want to do because I lose a rook and I don't see anything for it. Stop doing this to your eye. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna play with just one eye. So the other rook then, but that doesn't prevent the threat, John. It's the same. You're not doing anything against the threat, against the squares of the threat, which are basically these squares, and g5. Rook here, rook h5 check, only move, g5 check, king g6 only move, rook e6 check, and what? Rook f6 he takes, and it's gonna be checkmate anyway. Yeah, it's gonna be checkmate as well. Is queen captures bad? Queen captures, he takes it. I don't see the follow-up. So this is a big time threat. How to stop it? You need to be creative here, I think. Go king g7. Well, king g7, rook b5 check is probably out of the question. Tactics, hey, just comment. g5, I thought g5 stops a bit the threat, but I guess pawn takes is annoying. f7 to f5. Yeah, but we lose a rook. I would like to have a follow-up. Rook takes f5, he takes it. I mean, losing a rook in this position probably not a good idea. Why not queen f8? Hey, Make Heltal. Queen f8, I think it doesn't stop the threat. I think it doesn't. Maybe it does. Let's see. Rook h5 check, maybe it does stop it. Because it supports f6, right? So pawn takes, g5 check, king g6 only move. Rook e6 check. We have to block on f6, let's say with this rook, and if he takes, we take with the other rook, and yeah, queen f8 seems to stop the threat, and it's the only way this queen can defend this square, right? Because queen b2 is not the best way to defend it. Tough puzzle. Yes, it's tough, it's about defending, but queen f8 seems to stop the threat. So white cannot go for that, because in the end it's a losing endgame for white, and at the same time we're threatening. We're stopping queen takes f2 and we're threatening rook f1. So I guess queen f8 is the solution. Maybe the idea is to draw by giving... Yeah, I think queen f8, I like it. And if again, if g5 checking h5, we're good. I think it's queen f8, guys. It's stopping both rook h5 and queen takes f2, and it's threatening stuff. And if we didn't miss any threats, those are the two threats to consider. Now, if he takes on c4, defending f1, we might just go some rook to f4 at that point. It stops g5. No, it doesn't stop g5. But g5 is never a problem. We go to h5. Can you explain why queen b2 didn't work? I think queen b2 we lose, but maybe don't. Let's see. Rook h5 check. Pawn takes, rook only move. g5 check. King g6 only move. Rook e6 check. Now, if king f5, queen e4 is checkmate. And the other legal move allows rook takes f6. And if we take back with the rook, then we lose the queen. So I think we're losing there. Because rook takes f6, if we have to go king g7... that's interesting, but I guess queen takes f2... Well, actually that's not losing for us. F6 checking there. No. That's actually not losing for us. So... Maybe it's not rook e6. Maybe rook e6 is not the move. After the king is on g6. Or maybe after rook e6, rook f6, we don't take the rook immediately. Oh, there's a pawn on g5. What am I thinking? There's a pawn on g5 still. Defending the rooks. After king g7, we can just go queen d7. Yeah. That's not good. Yeah. So queen b2 doesn't work. Okay. And I think we go with this one now, but let's think, because we have two rooks. Maybe we go with the f2 rook, because if rook 7 to f6, he might take here, and we have a problem. So we need to go with this one, right? We need to go with this one now. And king g7 is what I thought. Actually, I think it's the only legal move, if I'm correct. King g7 is the only legal move. Yeah. Okay, now we have to take, obviously. What else? And here's this check. Well, then maybe I have an option here to go king h8. Now, king h8, there's rook e8. King back, there's rook e8. So king h6, or takes? I think takes. King h6 seems like we're gonna be checkmated after check. Actually, this check would be annoying. Oh no, what am I saying? It's checkmate anyway. Yeah, okay. Okay, 6 points. This puzzle was rated 3246. Let's show some lines in the analysis board because it was interesting to see why queen b2 didn't work. Not so hard to see, but I guess I'm tired already. One more, rar. Oof, we've done a lot. Okay, Tentachess, are you still here? Oh, Tentachess gifted me more membership of chess.com, so we have diamond for an extra month now. Okay, so this was. Let's show just this line. Let's not show queen takes f2 and stuff. Let's just show queen b2 here. So check, only move, check, only move, rook e6 check. Now if we ever block with this one, we lose the queen. If we block with this one, so we block with this one, check. Again, if we take, we lose the queen. But if we go here, we have issues because this is going to be checkmate in 2. So queen b2 wasn't working. Okay. Gradiosus Ram, thanks for the follow. Okay, guys, I'm really tired. Let's do one more, okay? One more. I wish we had an endgames one. We didn't have endgames today, I think. Okay, so we're about to promote and black is about to checkmate us somehow. Rook c2 seems a strong idea. Rook d3 because the knight will never control d1 seems also a very strong idea. So we have to watch out for those ideas against f2 and the back rank. On the plus side, black has no immediate checks or checkmates, so we have like one extra tempo. Now rook d8 check is going to be interesting at some point as well. So for example b7, if rook d3 or rook c2, we just go rook d8 check, and king here is interesting. Rook e8 check king here, so maybe that's not working. Let's do when we finish an endgame. Okay, let's keep doing tactics until we get an endgame. We have also a very forcing line, queen a7 check. This is the only move, rook e8 check, and now there are some different moves. So it would be nice if we can stop that from happening. For example, starting with knight c5 check. Is that crazy? Yes, it is very, very crazy. Why rook d3 or rook c2 when he has rook takes b3? Oh, that's a threat. Yes, that's a threat as well. So one defensive idea could be knight e2 for knight f1, but I think that hangs a perpetual. So knight e2, rook c1 check, knight f1, rook takes f1, exclam. I take. Oh no, there's no queen d1, so maybe it's not a perpetual. But it seems like he might be having a perpetual. Queen back to f3, king e1, queen h1, and if we run queen takes f2 and queen takes b6, too many pawns for the rook, I don't know. It's hard to assess. I bet there's an h4 move in this puzzle. Oh, thanks for the follows, guys. WM Elisa Wu and Recuerdo PQGI. Thanks for the follows. Hope you like the stream. Sack the king. I can sack the king. Look. Nah, just kidding. So b7, rook takes b3. Yeah, that might be a problem. Is there a way that I avoid the escapes? Rook a7 doesn't look good. b7 checkmates with rook c1. I have c1 controlled. I have c1 under control, Adol. Yeah, it's like black has some threats. Promote to a knight, easy. Black has some threats, rook here, and rook c2. But not in one move, so we have like a free move to find a strong idea. And queen a7, yeah, queen a7, I said it's forcing the first move at least. But then I don't know how to continue, because I would love to have queen c8, and I don't have it. Although I have rook knight e4 ideas at some point. With the king on e6. Okay, if rook e8, king has many options. I guess f6 makes sense. But then we have queen e7. Pepelu, you're a programmer. You should make Twitch add-on where viewers can draw arrows on the board. That should be a... Okay, for Twitch I cannot do it, but maybe for Lichess we could figure out something. Okay, king f5 is never an option, of course, because of queen takes f7, but king f6 or king d5 are options. And what about rook e8? One rook e8, exclam. Well, the knight promotion is not so stupid after all. But there's rook takes b3. Yeah, rook takes b3 is a problem. Maybe. Rook e8, you lose the rook. Yeah, I guess he has some deep idea. I don't want others drawing on Pepe's board. Thanks, okay. No, but yeah, I guess we already have the tools. Lichess is very powerful. We already have the tools to share arrows with people in studies. Just for yourself to see. There are ideas related to queen b4 and rook d8. Pepe, is that a Spanish pillow behind you? This is Fito. Sack it. I don't know, guys. If I don't see the solution fast, I think I'm gonna stop the stream. I see this. Queen f7, king e6, rook e8, king f6, queen e7. Yeah, we saw that, Uri, but how to continue? Because now we are checkmated, or perpetualed. If we lose control of d1, actually, this is a threat right now. This is a threat of a draw. So probably the first move is moving the knight. But if we move the knight, there's rook c1. So knight c5 is not so stupid, after all. And if we check, either with rook or queen, we need a follow-up that stops queen d1. Okay, knight c5 is stupid. Maybe we need to go for the... Okay, I'm gonna calculate this line again, and because I don't see anything else, I'm gonna try and calculate whether black has a perpetual or not after that. After rook takes f1, king takes f1, queen h1 check, king e2, queen f3 check, king e1, queen h1 check, king d2. So I guess that's not a perpetual. If queen f1, we might just play Queen a7 check and start running with our king, maybe. Oh, at some point we take on f7, maybe. Yeah. You think black's threat of draw is significant? Of course it is, because I think we should win this position. We're a knight up. I'm happy to draw here. No, I'm not. So I think 92. And after rook c1 check, knight f1. And I think rook takes f1 is not a draw. It's not a draw. And if that's not a draw, then we need to see what happens after moves like queen d3 or queen e2 there. Let's say queen d3 makes a bit more sense. How are we gonna defend our knight? Wait, keep calculating after king f6. We could do that as well. Okay, then let's keep calculating after rook check, king f6, which is not the only move. I have to calculate this one as well. But okay, let's keep calculating after this. Queen e7 check, king g7, queen g5. Okay. I see a draw there. King g7, queen g5, king h7. Maybe 92 at that point, but then he had no 90. So if I cover c1 with the queen, I can maybe cover d1 with the knight, but I don't know how. Oh well, I take on h5. What am I saying? King back to g7. And then queen h8, rook g8, king goes to f5. Maybe I throw a knight d4. Maybe queen h8 is too much. Maybe just queen g5, king h7, queen g8, king h6. No, I don't like that either. You're up a knight. Yeah, I'm up a knight, but in your line. Okay. Queen a7, rook e8, king f6, queen h7, king g7, queen takes d6. What? Queen takes d6 after king g7? I have queen f8 as well. After king g7, queen takes d6. He can take our knight. We take on e5. Well, that's crazy. That's crazy, Ladle, but it might work. Okay, but no, I think queen h5, king g7. I like queen f8. I don't like queen f8. He goes back to f6. And then if queen h8, he goes to f5. He's running. He's on the run. I think black go king f6 instead of king g7. King g7 looks scary. What? Too many arrows. Yeah. Okay, but that's an interesting forcing line. Let's say he goes to d5 for a second. What do we do there? Because we run out of checks. And if we don't have anything there, I might just stop calculating queen a7. Oh yeah, we have to check on a5, but he goes back to e6, or yeah. Okay, we have queen a5 check, yes. King e6, rook e8. No, the rook is on e8. Okay, oofda. No, I should stop, guys. I should stop doing tactics. My brain is done for today, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Finish this first. I don't think I can. I don't think I can. Maybe that's why knight c5 input. But knight c5 he takes it. And then I have queen a2 check. Rook c4, queen d2, king c5, queen a5, king d4. But it's a draw. I don't want to draw. If I don't see the solution, I can't sleep. Ah, come on. After king g7, queen takes d6, prevents queen d1 check, and attack continues. Yeah, worry, but queen d6 is such an engine move to me. I mean, we have queen g5, queen takes h5, and the attack continues. Queen takes d6, I don't really see a threat. It might be a good move, but nothing wrong with drawing against a good opponent. Now, this has to be a win. Queen a7, king e6, rook e8, king d5. Queen a5 check. If c5, I don't see it, guys, and I think I'm not gonna see it. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sefa. I'm sorry, John Wuri, but I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. I should have stopped already, like 3 passes ago. And now it's the time where I'm 100% sure I'm not gonna solve this one. So I'm sorry. Okay, John, have a good night. If rook e8 check, king d5, you go queen a5 check. Yeah, and then what after c5? Or even after king e4? King e4, there's 92. Okay. But after c5, I have queen a8 check, but then what? Oh, then I win the queen in all lines. I win the queen in all lines if king d5. Okay, let's calculate that line again. So queen a7, king here. If rook e6, he goes to d5, we go queen check. And he has to go rook c5. Because king e4 allows knight, or king c4, both of them, and allows this fork. And if c5, there's queen a8 check, and it's going to be the fork. Because he can only go to c4 or e4. Still, after taking the queen and pawn takes, we have to be careful with the back rank, but I assume that's winning. So, queen a7 checking here, rook check, he has to go to f6. Should I do a last attempt at calculating this after queen f6? Queen e7 check. I think king g7 was the only move, because king f5 we take it, and he can never go here because of the fork anyway. Yeah, the forks are interesting in many lines. So I guess king g6 we have rook g8 check. If king f5 it's the same, if he goes to the h file, queen f8, king h7, queen g7 mate. So king g7 is forced. Okay, so this is a forcing line now. This is a forced line. Queen e7, he must go to g7. Oh, but there's something I missed. Again. Guys, I should stop. My brain is... I'm gonna have brain damage, and it's gonna be on you. So queen a7 checking here, rook check here, king d5. There's something we missed. Queen a5 check. After rook c5, if I take, he has queen d1 check, king g2, queen back to f3 check. I have to play king f1 to avoid the perpetual, because now queen d1 check could be met with queen e1. But I think there's queen h1 check. King e2. Okay, maybe it works. There's no perpetual there. Queen f3 check, king e1. And he eventually has to take the knight. After queen h1 check, again king d2. There's queen d5 check, we go knight d3, so there's no queen d5 check, so he has to take the knight. Okay, so the line definitely works. So queen a7 check, king a6, rook e8 check. King f6 is forced, but not so forced as I thought. Queen 7 check, king g7 is forced. And it would be nice to simplify the position, trade queens or something, and then promote the pawn. That would be the best. So someone said queen takes d6. I think queen takes d6 is such a cold-blooded move. I don't believe it unless an engine tells me that's the move. Queen g5, king h7, queen g8, king h6. That seems like a draw. If queen d5 checking h7, because of the perpetual, we don't have time like to sacrifice the rook on h8, go queen h6 and b7. We don't have time for that. So John Jung is saying, please look at queen g5, king h7, queen h5, king g7, queen h8, king g6, rook g8, but then king f5, right? Okay, but we still have the forks. That's your idea, right? King f5. What do we do? What do we do then? Queen h5, king e6, or king f6? King f6, queen g5, king e6, rook e8, and then he goes to d5. You say queen h7. Okay, queen h7. After king f5 then. So rook g8, king f5, queen h7, king f6 only move. And then what? Queen g7 maybe? And if king f5, queen takes f7, of course. So queen g7, yes, okay. So we go to the other side now, king e6. This got too long for me. Yeah, I mean, I want to stop. If I don't see it, I want to stop. It's painful for my mind. And I had a migraine, or at least a strong headache before I had to sleep. I don't want to damage my brain anymore today. Go to bed, Pepe. No, I don't want to go to bed. I already slept before this stream, but I just don't want to calculate more. I want to relax, and I wanted to play some games, and I think I'm not gonna be able to play more. I'm not gonna be able to play games now because I gave it all with the tactics. Should have stopped. I should have stopped earlier. Okay. So queen g5, king h7, queen h5. King g7, queen h8, king g6, rook g8, king f5, queen h7 check, king f6, queen g7 check, king e6, knight d4 takes, rook e8 check. Oh, there's king d7 there. No, that's stupid. So after king e6, I want my queen on g5 when his king goes to e6 to have rook e8 check, forcing king d5. Oh, to have knight d4. Ah. Okay, I think I have an idea in your line, John. So let me see it again. After queen g5 check, king h7, queen takes h5 check, which is not required. King g7, queen h8 check, king g6, rook g8 check, king f5. Instead of queen h7, I'm gonna play queen h5 check. Now, he cannot go to e4 because of the fork on d2. So he must go to f6 or e6. If he goes to f6, I play queen g5 and I force him to e6 anyway. And with my queen on the 5th rank, either g5 or h5, I'm gonna play... well, on g5 it works. If the queen is on g5, I have knight d4 check, he has to take it, and then rook e8 check, king d7, queen e7 checkmate. Because by sacrificing the knight, I stopped king d5 with my queen after rook e8 check. But I need my queen on g5. So after queen h5 check, if king e6, king e6, it doesn't work. Does it? Pepe, I'm gonna stop now. I had a migraine and can't think anymore, so I go. So I need to get to g5. How can I do it? After queen h5 check, king e6. Rook g8, king f5. Let's take it from there. Queen h5, king e6. Well, that's good. Put on the board the analysis. So the analysis, okay, I'm gonna show the whole line. First I'm gonna show the one that works. So I'm gonna play it badly with black. I'm gonna play king f6 instead of king e6. And then let's try to find the same idea on the king e6 line. So the line goes like that. Queen a7 check, king here, rook e8 check, king must go to f6, queen e7 check, king g7, which was forced. Hey nobody, queen g5 check, king h7, queen takes h5 check, king back to g7, queen h8 check, king g6, rook g6 check, king f5 only move, queen h5 check. And now for the blunder, king f6, then queen g5 check, king e6 only move, knight d4 check, he has to take because it's a fork, and then rook e8 check, only legal move, king d7, queen e7 checkmate. Now, if black plays king e6 immediately instead of king f6, with my queen on h5, that doesn't work. I mean, still works that knight d6, knight d4 he has to take, it still works that rook e8 must be answered with king d7, but I don't have now queen e7 checkmate. My queen is on h5, my rook is attacked on e8, so we have problems there. But maybe we can figure out a way to get to that construction, because we have a lot of checks there with the rook and the queen. So queen e7 check, king here, rook check, king here only move, queen e7, king g7, queen check here, queen takes check, king g7 back. Is there a way I can put my queen on g5 with check after, for example, that, queen h8, which maybe not the only move, king here, rook here, king f5. So if queen h5 check, king f6, sorry, king e6 is the move, of course. and that's why the line doesn't work. But can I move around from there? Now he has access to d5, and that's a problem. So probably queen h5 is already a mistake. And with the king on f5, if I go queen h7 check, king e6, still I don't like it. So can we get that? I'm gonna keep calculating from the position after queen e7 check, king g7, queen g5 check, queen g5 check, king h7, queen h5 check, king g7. Okay, check. After king f5, I don't see it. I don't see how to get it. It's a beautiful line, but I don't think it works. So you insist on queen takes d6. I mean, if queen takes d6 is the solution, I'm gonna suspect you're using an engine, Ladle. Free pawn, you say. Okay, I'm gonna calculate the queen takes d6 line because you said it, and with nobody's hint, it's clearly the solution. Okay, so queen a7 check, king e6, rook e8 check, king f6, queen e7 check, king g7, queen takes d6. If rook takes knight, we have what? Queen takes e5 check. He cannot go queen f6 because of rook g8. Oh, he can. No, he cannot. There's no pawn on f3. So he has to go what? f6 or king g. Are we checkmating? Are we checkmating him? Rook takes b3. Queen takes e5 check. If king h7. I don't see it, guys. King h7, rook h8, king g6, rook g8. Oh yeah, that's checkmate. Okay, so he has to play f6, queen e7 check. Oof, that my eyes. So queen takes e5 check, f6. What do we do? Queen e7 check, king g6, rook g8, king f5. I don't know. So after f6, do we have something better? Rook e7 check? No, I don't believe it. Rook e7 does king f8 and we repeat. So after f6, queen e7, rook g6, rook g8, king e4, queen h7. Oofda. I should have stopped. I should have stopped, guys. Looks like too many threats after queen d6. It doesn't look like that to me. Yes, his king is exposed, but okay, queen takes e5 check. Yeah, the good news is he has to play f6. I told you to stop, Pepe. Yeah, I will stop. f6, queen e7 check, rook g6, rook g8 check. He has to play king f5. Okay, so that's forced. Then queen h7 extracts the king. King e5 or king e6. Then rook e8 check moves the king to the d file. Then we have queen d7 check, moves the king to the c file, although he has queen d5, so that's not so certain. If king d4 previously. Poof. So after f6, maybe rook e7, king f8, and we repeat. So queen e7 has to be played. Then king g6, I don't see anything but rook g8. And after king f5, maybe queen d7 instead of queen h7. Okay, queen d7. Of course, queen d7 and rook e8. Oh, that's it. That's it. So after queen takes d6, there's no queen d1 and there's no rook takes b3. Okay. And if rook c2, we have the same threat. So he has to stop that threat. Okay. Okay. Did you consider 92? Yes, we did. Let's show all the lines we considered now. This was the last puzzle, guys. Let's show some of the lines we saw. Oofda. And I will go lay down, I think, after this. So, yeah, 92. There was a couple of problems, but this is only move now. And I think the problem here was queen d3 or queen e2, because this is not really a perpetual. This is not really a perpetual, because d1 was covered. And now check, we go king. And maybe it's a perpetual after queen c3. I didn't see queen c3. I only thought this and queen d5, but okay, it may or may not be a perpetual, but at least this was annoying. Unless we have a checkmate, it's not easy to defend now this. So yeah, this line was trouble. And yeah, if we go for a line like queen a7, we better have a strong idea, because those threats are there. Queen d3 indeed wins, queen e2 no. Yeah, queen e2 would be, for me it's more natural to go queen d3. Because why not? I mean, if you can go to the two of them, why not here? But what's the problem here? Why doesn't this win? Ah, yeah. Right. Right. Okay, so let's go for the solution and see some of the lines we discussed at length. So, yeah. we've been calculating a lot these kind of lines. And the problem why this is not working is because he can go king e6. And it's a pity because this would be a very neat puzzle solution, to be honest. If king f6 was forced and we have this nice knight e4 check. Because if we take the queen, we win, of course. After pawn takes, we have this covered, and I don't know. And if he takes it, then there's this check, and now both queen e7 or queen d8 are checkmate. That was a nice idea, but it didn't work. And it would involve using the knight, which was nice. But yeah, king e6 and we had nothing. But queen takes d6, I'm confused that, yeah, Ladl proposed this too fast and he was so confident. So, okay, the thing to see here is, of course, queen f6 can be answered by rook g8, winning the queen. If the king moves, he's checkmated. For example, this check and checkmating too. And if the king goes here, it's the same because we basically transpose to the other line with this. And okay, f6 would be the only other move, and then after queen e7 check, I thought king g6. For some reason I only considered that, but there's also this move, but I guess we again transpose with this. He goes to the g line and we transpose to this check, where if he goes here there's queen g7 and it doesn't matter where he is. So finally all lines lead to this, and then queen d7 simply, and rook e8 next move. And that's it. That's why rook takes b3 cannot be played. Ladl, let me tell you this. This is, we don't like engines here. I mean, I'm okay with engines existing, but we're doing tactics, and we do that as a challenge to train. And yeah, if I wanted to know the solution, I wouldn't be even streaming. So yeah, last warning. I don't mind if you use an engine, but just don't post the solution, please, if you do. And that being said, next time I will ban you. It wouldn't be the first person I ban just for sharing an engine line in the chat. So rest warned. Okay, that was a hard move to find, queen takes d6, I think. Very hard move to find, especially in a position where we have so many checks and black is in trouble, or looks like. Okay guys, I'm done. It was fun. We did solve some puzzles, and we're very close to 3150. The rating of this puzzle was 3400. Have a good night, John, and have a good night, guys. Imagine trying to play a game in that position. Well, in a game, okay, already playing c6, which I assume was the previous move, was probably with the intention to play queen a7. So I guess in a game queen a7 would be normal. Maybe knight e2, but if you see the queen d3 problem, you have to go for queen a7 because knight c5 is stupid. So queen d6 is the last move you look at after you check the billion checks. Exactly, nobody. That's it. Because here you first calculate this, and all the checks that come from there, including after king h7, queen g8 first, not necessarily queen takes h5 first. I don't know. But you don't play c6 unless you see mate. I don't know. Sometimes you play moves because you don't have a choice, because your opponent has so many threats that you don't have a choice but to keep being active and open the 7th rank to keep doing checks. So yeah, sometimes you use some heuristics because you don't have a choice to play other moves. Okay, it was fun, guys. I hope to see you soon. Check my almost 4 hours in the end. Check good night, Sefa, and check the calendar if you want to see the schedule for the next dates. But probably I'll be back streaming on Monday some endgames. I cannot promise, but maybe I stream tomorrow. I don't know, because sometimes it happens. and yeah, have a good weekend. Is Kaito Looping still streaming? Because we might be able to raid him. Let's have a quick glance. What was the first white move? Can't be c5, c6. No, the first move can't be c5, c6. Well, it could be. The puzzle started like this, like b takes c6. So I assume the move was some pawn to c6. Not necessarily from c5, but I don't know. Oh, Kaito is hosting Pepelu. No. No. Who can we raid then? I don't know. Oh, Kaito is hosting Pepelu. No. Dr. Dragonitsky. Mellow. No. Is Mellow streaming? Mellow's streaming. Who can we raid then? I don't know. Oh. Oh, Kaito is hosting. Okay, let's go watch Mellow. Have a good weekend, guys. See you tomorrow. Dragon is the smallest big streamer. Yeah.